Hello and welcome to this presentation of MVP Baseball 2005 on the new Coliseum Sports Network. Today's matchup is between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Houston Astros from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. I'm Raymond Simms, and in this video I'm going to tell you about some of the things to look forward to on this revamped YouTube channel. It'll be Roger Clemens taking on Roy Halladay in this matchup on what is probably one of the best baseball video games of all time, in my opinion. And we lead off with a check swing strike from Roger Clemens to Reed Johnson. Here comes the 0-1. And a strike in there on the upper half. And here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed. And so a K to get things going here for the Astros. The Rocket, Roger Clemens, starting for the Astros on the hill. So you know that we're probably in for a very good performance. Orlando Hudson up at the plate, chops it weakly, collected by the first baseman, handed off to Clemens, and he'll make the out right there. So he has been responsible for the first 2 outs of this game. And I'm sure that any Astros fans that are old enough probably remember these types of flashes in real life, not just in video games. Speaking of bygone eras, here's Vernon Wells up here for the Blue Jays. Swings on the first pitch. Gets a piece of this one, collected by Ensberg. He'll make the easy 5-3 put out. So it's a 3 up, 3 down type of inning, and now we'll have the Astros come up to bat. Didn't even have enough time to go into any details, but here's a look at Roy Halladay, the starting pitcher for Toronto, and the defensive alignment behind him. A lot of interesting names. Of course, Blue Jays fans from the mid-2000s remember a lot of these. Probably getting very nostalgic. The one in right field is the one that's more memorable for me. I'm a White Sox fan personally, so I'm very familiar with Alex Rios. But Adam Everett coming up, leading off. And he'll take a curveball inside. Now, I know that I'm talking about the fact that the Coliseum Sports Network is new. It's not this channel, as you see from some of the earlier videos, has been around for a while. But at least with the new way that I'm taking this channel, as Adam Everett flies out to center, Wells gets it easily for out number 1. With the new direction that I'm taking it, it does feel like a new channel. And so it is pretty ironic that I'm using MVP Baseball 2005, which is 9 years old, pushing 10 years old, to talk about a new channel. Craig Biggio, the first of the 3 killer bees from those Astros days of yours, up at the plate, facing a 2-1 count here. 1 out, none on. And he'll take a curve. Very wise to do so. But the reason that I'm using MVP Baseball 2005, as Biggio will take his base on a base on balls, is not only because of its sheer awesomeness, but there is the fact that I will be utilizing the MVP series, as Bagwell promptly hits this one into left field. That'll advance Biggio to second. Bagwell on with a single. So first hit of the game allowed by Roy Halladay. You were expecting virtual Roy Halladay to throw a no-hitter. Today is not that day. And here's the third killer bee. Here's Berkman, as I was talking him up there. We'll take a splitter inside for ball 1. It's pretty interesting that Bagwell's batting stance has him crouched all the way over. And then you have Lance Berkman come up, and he's pretty much standing upright. When I was choosing teams, I was thinking about using the Diamondbacks. Of course, with Randy Johnson was gone. I think it was the first year that he didn't play, or at least he wasn't in the game when I was about to use him. As the out is made at second, 6-4-3 double play. And the reason I was going to use him, if I can finish this thought here, as we come to the end of the first, was because of Craig Counsell and his really crazy batting stance that he used throughout his MLB career. But nevertheless, 1 hit allowed for the Astros in the bottom of the first. We head to the top of the second, and here is Corey Koski. He'll take a fastball up and in. Now, I'll be using the MVP series moving forward, at least through the summer, but not 2005. I'll be using MVP Baseball 2004, and the reason why, as Koski faces a 2-1 count, is because I'll be using it for a retro franchise. Koski hits this one directly to Vizcaino, has trouble collecting it, but gets it in time to make the out. Jose Vizcaino. When I was younger, I always loved having to pronounce his name. Said it like an old-timey baseball announcer. No, I'm not about to do the impression now. I'm already doing my own baseball announcer impression now as well. So here's Shea Hillenbrand, who, if I'm not mistaken, he's the guy that was named after, his parents named after Shea Stadium. Or maybe I'm remembering something differently. But I know there's a baseball player that named their son after Shea Stadium. Speaking of Shea, he pops out to the catcher. So that's enough of him. Here's Eric Hensky. Now, the team that I decided to use for the retro franchise is another Canadian team, and it's actually the reason I have to use MVP 2004 out of necessity, because if I had to choose, I'd probably go with MVP 2005, is the Montreal Expos. This one popped up into right field, and it's in Vizcaino's range. He's able to make the easy out here. So that'll do it for this half inning. Still no hits for the Blue Jays. Ensberg, Lamb, and Lane all due up for the Astros. Now, some of you young whippersnappers out there probably don't remember the Montreal Expos. It's been pretty much a decade since they've last existed. They're currently the Washington Nationals. And just the lore behind the Montreal Expos is just tremendous, how it's grown over the years, considering the fan support and the great moments that their franchise had, and then just the demise of it all, starting with that player strike in the mid-90s and kind of just tailing off from there. I am a huge fan more so of the city of Montreal itself and how different it is compared to the rest of North America, as Mike Lamb gets on base. And here's Jason Lane up at the plate. Takes a splitter very high for ball one. I've always been interested in the city of Montreal and how different it has been compared to the rest of the North American continent. And so the fact that its baseball team has kind of picked up a sort of a cult following, I think I kind of got pulled in with it myself. And so I'll be using that retro franchise kind of to live that out. So instead of Montreal moving to Washington, I'm going to see how far I can take the franchise through however many seasons I can, as much as I can get through this summer with, and just see how far I can take this team and probably figure out what could have been. But those will be posted on Tuesdays, which was when this channel was supposed to debut, was on Tuesday. 2 men on, 1 out. Vizcaino just taking the pitches here. A lot of discipline being shown by batters on both sides, and it's pretty important to do so against two aces such as Roy Halladay and Roger Clemens. So here's Brad Ausmus up at the plate, and they'll take a curveball in. You may know Brad Ausmus as the current manager for the Detroit Tigers. I'm a casual follower of baseball where I just, remember names from the past. So the fact that he was even considered as a Tigers manager was a surprise to me, but I'm sure people with much more knowledge of baseball than mine were not surprised at all. And here's the current Tigers manager taking a strike, and now he's struck out. So we're back up to the top of the order. Here's Adam Everett taking a cutter well outside. Bases loaded. Astros looking to get on the board here against Roy Halladay. That one fouls off of Adam Everett's foot. In real life, that would hurt like the dickens, but virtual Adam Everett just fine. Takes a splitter in 2-1 count. Now, for the Montreal Expos retro franchise, and I probably should just hold off until the next half inning to discuss this, as it's 2 outs, bases loaded here with Adam Everett, and I'll actually do just that. Ball inside, full count. Here it is to Adam Everett, swung on and missed. He strikes out. And that'll do it. Roy Halladay pitching out of a jam. Bases loaded. But no Stros will come home, and it's still scoreless. Rios, Adams, and Zahn all due up. Okay, so now let me get to my Montreal retro franchise idea here. And what I'll be doing on Tuesday, starting this coming Tuesday, I'll be treating it a lot like, you know, your run-of-the-mill Let's Play. You probably see them all over YouTube, you know, discussing, you know, how these guys play their games and how they've been running their franchises. I want to do something pretty much like that. So while it will be a blast from the past, it won't be a severe departure from what you may be used to out here on Sports Let's Play YouTubes. Rios, the former White Sox, now with the Rangers, strikes out looking. And it's funny that they call him Alexis. I didn't know that was his actual name. I just know him as Alex. But he's going to take his seat on the bench in the dugout, and that'll bring up Russ Adams. The fact that he didn't have a picture threw me off completely. But apparently he is a real person. Spent much of his career with the Blue Jays organization, and he's out pretty much quickly, very quickly, off of a broken bat ground out. And next up here, the catcher, Greg Zahn, as they round out the Blue Jays lineup. Ooh, slow swing and a miss on the splitter. Two-seamer inside. I do remember that there was a thought that I didn't complete dealing with the fact that I didn't start on Tuesday like I wanted to, and now I'm doing this video on Wednesday, which I'll get to after Zahn's at bat. He's able to weakly hit one into center field, and so he's on with a single. So Greg Zahn able to keep the inning alive. And now Reed Johnson returns up to the plate. He struck out his last time up. Takes the changeup. Now the reason that I wasn't able to do the video to get the ball rolling on Tuesday was simply because of Mother Nature. As Reed Johnson rolls this one into right field, Zahn advances to second. Johnson on with a single. It was due to Mother Nature. A huge storm system rolled through the metropolitan area that I live in and knocked out power to large swaths of the city. And it took literally 24 hours for my power to come back on. So Tuesday was a wash. Ensberg able to wash away this inning. The Blue Jays not able to bring anybody home, but they do get 2 hits. And now it's the Astros' turn. Still scoreless. Biggio walked his last time up. He's back up at the plate here to start off the bottom of the 3rd. And he's able to drop one into center field on the first pitch. And it looks like we'll have our first extra base hit of the game, as he'll come in for a double. So Mother Nature cannot hold me back. Very obviously, because here I am the very next day. As soon as the power came on, I've hit the ground and running. And so now that, you know, the first, everything's out of the way and I'm up and rolling, I'm just excited to get this off the ground here and bring this to whoever wishes to watch. Jeff Bagwell back up at the plate. Looking to advance Biggio. He won't do it there, as it'll be a 6-3 put out. So there's out number 1, and now here's Lance Berkman. And Berkman gets this one. It'll be another 3-1 put out, but this time for the Blue Jays. Out number 2. And props to Eric Hinsky. He had to reach out for that one. And then Halladay with the quick feet able to cover first. Here's Morgan Ensberg up at the plate. Takes the fastball high. Hits this one weakly, collected by Henske. If he was in a shift, he would have been up a creek there, as that one would have been tight roping the first base line, but not the case. So still scoreless. Vernon Wells back up at the plate to start off the top of the fourth. Slider inside. You notice the Astros wearing those ever so classic Tequila Sunrise uniforms, the ones so ugly that they're good, and they're playing in the Astrodome. Just something that I wanted to do. I like those gaudy uniforms those Astros wear, and I figured, hey, if I'm going to go with the classic jerseys, might as well go with the classic stadiums. And I love MVP 2005 selection of classic stadiums, especially compared to what you get from the show these days. I mean, you got not just the complete classic ones as Vernon Wells will take his base. You know, the obvious classic ones like the Polo Grounds and Forbes Field and stuff, but you get Metropolitan Stadium, you get Synergy Field. The 2 years when the Reds' Riverfront Stadium was gutted out, that left field was gutted out so they could make room for Great American. Like, they even have that in MLB MVP 2005, and that just impresses me a lot. So I figured my first game going up on YouTube here for the Coliseum Sports Network might as well be some, utilizing those available options. Speaking of available options, the Blue Jays also wearing not just throwbacks, but special event throwbacks, as this one is fouled off. Those are their Canada Day jerseys that they're wearing from Canada Day 97, and look at that play right there. Good job stretching out by Jeff Bagwell. Was able to collect the ball and step on the base in time. That does still advance the runner, though, so it is a man on second with one out. Four-seamer in there for Shea Hillenbrand. And here comes the 1-0. Down the line, but hooks foul. And then this one hit to Vizcaíno, able to make the easy out. Still advances the runner. So still an Astro on base, and he's 90 feet away from coming home. I know the home crowd here at the Astrodome would love that very much. But here is Eric Henske, 0 for 1 so far today. Yeah, but those Canada Day jerseys, utilizing the 97, the jerseys that the Blue Jays wore in 97. Keep in mind, in 2005, the Blue Jays were in their black jersey era, that sleek Blue Jay era that I'm kind of glad that they've moved on from. And I said there was an Astro on base, I think, earlier. There was actually a Blue Jay on base that came home. So there's an RBI double, and the Blue Jays are on the board. And here's Alex Rios going to see if he can add on. And that one collected. Good job by Ensberg to at least get it down, even though it ate him up. And that bought enough time there for Everett to collect it and make the out himself. So the Blue Jays get one. And the Astros will see if they can respond in kind. Lamb, Lane, and Vizcaíno all do up. Yeah, but I like the... I was kind of troubled by that era throughout the mid-2000s that the Blue Jays decided to go with the black uniforms. I'm glad they've returned to their roots. And I don't know what graphic designers are out there or what colorologists, if that's a real word, have really noticed, but actually utilized the Blue Jays royal blue, or the shade of blue that they use. I call it royal blue. I think that's the shade they use. But I use that for my Coliseum Sports Network logo. The official channel colors are royal blue, Columbia blue, and red. And they all have their important meanings and whatnot. I'll get into those down the line, though. Roy Halladay bringing out the palm ball. 1-2 count. And another ball in there runs up the count, 2-2. Another cutter outside runs the count full now with 1 out. And Halladay gives up a walk. Now, to move towards some of the other stuff that I'll be doing here on the Coliseum Sports Network, I'll stick with baseball. Another big thing, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to start it tomorrow, as they're able to get the force out at second, but not the double play at first. Something I'm doing called the Paramount League, where I'll actually be utilizing MLB The Show. I'll use MLB 13 The Show, not 14. I figured they were pretty much the same games, give or take the roster update. So I didn't buy 14 this year, so I'm using MLB 13, current updated rosters, and I'm choosing 12 major league teams and pretty much pitting them against each other for 82 games from tomorrow through September. As Halladay's able to make the out here. Check him out. These pitchers have been getting it done out in the field. And that's why it's been such a close game. And it's only 1-0 with the Jays up to bat next. But yeah, the Paramount League will be presented by MLB 13 The Show. Just 12 major league teams with their updated rosters. Not sure if I'm going to acknowledge injuries or not, but it will be the current rosters. Going against each other from tomorrow through September. And then I have the postseason in October. Why am I doing it? Just because. It's something that I like to do. Sometimes I just like putting random teams together and seeing how they'll pit against each other. Like, for instance, the 2005 Blue Jays and the 2005 Astros. I mean, just an example to throw out there. Here's Reed Johnson up at the plate, takes a strike on the inner half. Now, the 12 teams that I'll be using, and a lot of deliberation went into this. It went back and forth. There was only like 2 or 3 teams that I knew for certain I was going to include, and then everybody else was up in the air. But I got 12 teams divided into Eastern Conference and Western Conferences. Johnson is able to drop one into left field, and so he's on with a single. In the Eastern Conference will be these very Blue Jays as Orlando Hudson comes up to the plate. Well, not these very Blue Jays. It'll be the 2014 Blue Jays as Hudson smacks this one into left center field. Johnson coming around the corner. Hudson's going to turn, so he has an extra base. Reed Johnson has enough time to come home, and it's now 2-0 off of the RBI double by Orlando Hudson. So just as I bring up that I'm including the Blue Jays in the Paramount League, they get a run on the board. They're excited. They're ready to go. Granted, Reed Johnson nor Orlando Hudson will be on those rosters since they aren't playing for the Blue Jays in 2014. Vernon Wells, he's a free agent in MLB 13 The Show. I don't know if he's officially retired or not. But along with the Blue Jays in that Eastern Conference will be the Miami Marlins, so you'll get to see Giancarlo Stanton, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Detroit Tigers along with Miguel Cabrera, the New York Yankees, because you got to get the most popular team in baseball, and then the Boston Red Sox. So you got to get the second most popular team in baseball. So that'll be the Eastern Conference there. Bat's barely left the shoulder of Vernon Wells. Figuratively, as you see the bat is well off of his shoulder. Easy out made by Bagwell. And that'll do it for the inning. The Blue Jays get another run on the board. They're ahead 2-0 as Adam Everett will come up to the plate to see if he can start an Astros rally. Speaking of the Astros, they'll be in the Western Conference of the Paramount League, along with the Mariners, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Twins, and the White Sox. Everett smacks this one into left field, and it drops just in front of Johnson. So Everett is on with a single to lead off the inning. Craig Biggio has a double and a walk. So we'll see if that good fortune can continue here. One on that pitch right there as Halladay pitches out. The palm ball slowly comes into the inner half. for strike one. Biggio will pop this one up in the air. So Everett probably not moving as Henske's able to make the out down the line. Here's Jeff Bagwell, speaking of first baseman. And he'll take the curveball high, just above the strike zone. The cutter is high, but is in there for strike one. And that one popped up in the air. So Henske getting a workout here, collecting this ball in foul territory. Pretty presumptuous of me to assume that he was going to make the out, but he did. And here's Lance Berkman. Now, the Western Conference here was pretty interesting decisions for me. I wanted to include the Angels with Mike Trout and all, but I figured having two LA teams would be a bit much. And I'm sure that I talked about including the two most popular teams in baseball, the Yankees and Red Sox. The Cubs are probably the third most popular team in baseball, and I didn't include them. Why? Because I'm a White Sox fan, as the walk is drawn. So I had to include the White Sox, and I wasn't above, including the Cubs as well, but I included the Twins at the expense of teams like the Angels and Cubs, which probably would have been more popular choices. I chose the Twins because, gosh darn it, I just really, really, really like their new stadium. Which is hard to say, considering the fact that, as I just alluded to, I'm a White Sox fan. I shouldn't be liking stadiums from other teams in the division, but hey, the Twins got a really nice one there in downtown Minneapolis, and a long time coming, considering they've been playing in the Metrodome for so long. Out has made it first, and that'll do it for the inning. So runners left on base there. The Astros had something going, but not quite. Koski, Hillenbrand, both due up. Blue Jays going to see if they can add some insurance for their pitcher, Halladay. Though for the most part, despite the fact that the Blue Jays were able to get runs by Clemens, it's still been a pretty good day for both starters on the mound. So the Paramount League starting tomorrow. Going to be very fun. I do want to throw out the disclaimer, though, that especially early on here with the Coliseum Sports Network, I'm going to be trying to figure out a posting routine, as this one is smacked into center field, but caught. Although with a little effort required there for Lance Berkman, had to collect it or make sure it didn't fall out of his glove. But he is able to get the out number one. I'm trying to get into a posting routine here. So I have to figure out, how long it takes me to film something, how long it takes me to record, or to film and record, and then how long it takes me to edit and upload, and all of that free fusion jazz. But when I say that I'm going to post something on a certain day, that's the intention. Though if I do end up, for instance, having something finally upload just after midnight on the next day, forgive me for that in advance. As, just trying to figure things out here with this young network. And next up here, Alex Rios with the runner on first and 2 out. Pickoff attempt. Trying to keep Blue Jay runner honest. Another pitch out. Or what was leading to a pickoff attempt there. And there's another pickoff attempt. So all is well with the world. Now 1-0 to Rios, and now it's 2-0. Something else going on. Of course, I talked about the retro franchise on Tuesday. On Thursday, the Paramount League. On Wednesday, that's going to be hoops. It's dedicated to hoops there. And as far as I know right now, I'm just going to be doing random games through the fall. And then in the fall, I got a fictional league that I'm working on right now that'll be ready to go by then. I was thinking about doing some sort of summer league play for the summer, but I figured since I'm already doing the Paramount League, why make things more difficult by trying to run 2 leagues simultaneously in separate sports. So just going to be whatever games I feel like playing on 2K14. So I do have updated games in my library. I'll be doing that on Wednesdays usually. The only reason I'm doing baseball today is because this debut video was pushed back due to the power outage that I suffered in my area. Leadoff walk here for the Astros. Down by 2. Looking to tie this game up for the home crowd. So I talked about Tuesdays, talked about Wednesdays, talked about Thursdays. What's happening on Mondays and Fridays? Well, on Mondays and Fridays, you will have the Raymond Simms Show. I know, very creative title. Pretty much it's sports talk, audio sports talk on a video medium, pretty much. So that'll be happening on Mondays and Fridays. Whatever the news is on Monday morning, I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to post it here on YouTube. And same thing on Friday. Pretty much just a continuation as we see the awesome double play there from the Blue Jays. Pretty much clears the bases of Astros. So the Astros, like Sisyphus pushing a rock up a hill when it comes to tying this game up. Vizcaino hits this one directly to Koski. He's able to make the easy 5-3 put out. That'll do it for the inning. So yeah, the Monday and Friday going to be doing sports talk. I'm excited about that. It's a spinoff of the podcast that I used to do called Podcast SC. When I was trying to come up with a name for my sports talk show for this revamp of Coliseum Sports Network, I was just stressing out over what the name should be, and then somewhere along the way I just realized, why not use my own name? So that'll happen. That will happen on Mondays and Fridays. Something else happening on Friday, long way from now, like late winter, early spring 2015. I'm going to be utilizing Madden 12 for a fictional football league. So I got the fictional basketball league coming in the fall, fictional football league at the beginning of 2015, and then while I'm doing the Paramount League this year, I may have a fictional baseball league next summer. But I mean, if I enjoy the Paramount League enough, then I might just go ahead and just do a second year of that. But that's way down the line. But just so you know, on Fridays I'll be adding that in addition to the Raymond Simms Show. So 2-0 here in the top of the 7th. This one collected by Ensberg in the out-made at first. A lot of 5-3 putouts in this game, and I don't know if that's indicative of just the MVP engine, or if that's just kind of the way that this game has gone. I've been watching a lot of baseball over the past 6 months. As this one is popped up in the air. It's far, but drops just in front of the warning track. And we get to the 7th inning stretch. Been watching a lot of baseball over the past 6 months, so I don't remember seeing that many 5-3 putouts. Kind of interesting to me. So bottom of the 7th here from the Astrodome. Have you ever been to the Astrodome? Be sure to talk about it with me in the comments. But I have been to the Astrodome. The year was 2000. It was a church event, a national church event, held in a concert configuration of sorts, as this one is popped up into left field, and the out made by Koski down the left field line. And we got the bullpen going. Dan Wheeler over in the bullpen warming up for Roger Clemens, so we might have seen the last of him. But he's had a good day, only giving up 2 runs. Runs at a premium when you got pitchers like Roy Halladay and Roger Clemens up at the mound. But I went to the Astrodome once, part of a church event. It was a dump then, and that was just as the Astros had moved out to move into what is now Minute Maid Park. And nowadays, it has gotten a lot worse. And I'm not sure if they said they were going to tear it down or not, or if it's on the verge. I know, actually I don't know. I think they're also auctioning off stuff. But I do know that I saw pictures from about a year ago, and it was just a tough sight to watch. I mean, this is one of the 8th wonders of the world. A lot of places call themselves that, but this was one of those that a lot of people widely consider. And it fell off, quite honestly. It was ahead of its time in the 60s when it was made, and then it just fell way behind the times. Kind of bizarre how that happens. Hudson will drop this one into right field, and so he's on with another base hit. He was able to hit an RBI double his last time up, and so he's on with a single now. And here's Vernon Wells. But he'll hit this one directly to Everett, and it's a 6-4-3 double play. Check that out. And that particular Astro is very pleased. Now some double barrel action going on in the bullpen. As Corey Koski will come up to the plate. 0 for 3 today. So he hasn't been able to join in on the run production. Another ball outside. 2-0 count here. Clemens trying to hang on. But that one sails over Bagwell's head. That's another base hit. And so he won't make it to the third out. That'll do it for Roger Clemens. And out comes Dan Wheeler. You see his record. The stats shown, of course, are from the 2004 season. As Shea Hillenbrand comes up, and Dan Wheeler will look to keep the Blue Jays from scoring any more runs. Man on first, where they throw that pickoff attempt with 2 out, and the Blue Jays leading 2-0 in the top of the 8th. Another pickoff attempt. Now there was one thing that I didn't plan on doing, but I was considering doing with MVP 2005, and I'm still on the fence about it. I mean, I can flip the switch on it at any time and get it going. But I will say that even though, well, there's a strikeout right there. Check that out. Dan Wheeler makes his first out look good. Backwards K to start things off. And so he preserves the 2-run deficit. The Astros will see if they can tie things up as Jeff Bagwell will get things going 1 for 3 on the afternoon. And that one hit to Adams, and the arm is strong enough to get the out at first, 6-3. Had to lay out for that one, but was able to recover in time. Now I'm a basketball guy, you know, first and foremost, but baseball is a very close second. And I know that there's a lot of baseball coming to the Coliseum Sports Network, but that's kind of a product of the season that I'm starting in. But something I did last year in my spare time was that palm ball is outside for ball 3. So Halladay getting a little tired there, it seems. Oh, puts the strike in. Huh. Brings it back, keeps the bat alive. One of the things I did was I used MLB 13 the show and took the professional teams, took the teams in the NBA playoffs, used their baseball team counterparts, and did a playoff with those MLB teams. I'm thinking of doing that again this summer, considering that I now have, you know, an Elgato and a YouTube account. I mean, I had a YouTube account last year, but not an Elgato. So I could put it on YouTube and do something that I did last year, but not by myself. So it's not weird, right? But I maybe utilize that. So, you know, if you didn't pick up on what I mean by that, for instance, the Portland-Houston series in the NBA playoffs, I'd utilize the Portland Beavers and the Houston Astros. Or for the Brooklyn Nets-Toronto Raptors series, I'd use the Blue Jays and I'd use the New York Mets. As that one fouls back. So I'm thinking of doing that. And if I'm able to figure out a posting routine, and I have the time in between all the other set in stone stuff that I have to do with both this and the other parts of the Coliseum Network, yeah, I might still do it. But you know, time is of the essence. The NBA playoffs get further away as days go on. Roy Halladay looks like his day will be done, but he's pitched a shutout, so he's put in a valiant effort. And now it looks like it'll be up to Justin Spire to finish off the job as Mike Lamb comes up. First pitch in there for a strike. Thinking of doing it, but we'll have to see what happens with all the other stuff first. But, you know, NBA playoffs get further away as the days pass and we get deeper into the dog days of summer. I'm going to have to make a decision quickly. So now Eric Hinsky comes up in the top of the ninth. Swing and misses on a fastball. I will say is, actually I'll hold this off until the bottom half of the bottom of the ninth. And in the meantime, though, 2-0. Hinsky pops this one up in the air. And under it, Vizcaino. Both Lane and Vizcaino were definitely in range. But Vizcaino will come up with it. Rios, whoa, hits that one right into center field. A laser. And Dan Wheeler had to think fast. Look at that. Whew, look out. But he was able to do just that, so he's all right. So here's Russ Adams with the man on first and 1 out. Oh, laying down the bunt here. Oh, pulls it back, though. As it's ball 2. I guess you saw where the curveball is going, decided to pull back. There's a pickoff attempt there. Here's the 2-0. Hits that one. Wheeler gets that first out and gets the second out. Oh, man, a 1-4-3 double play. I'm not sure that was going to happen, and Vizcaino got taken out on the slide, so you weren't sure if that was going to complete itself, but it does. So we come down to the bottom of the ninth, and the Astros going to see if they can tie it up in the bottom of the ninth and make this comeback. They'll be taking on Jason Frazier, who will look to close it out for the Blue Jays. So now that it's the bottom of the ninth, I'm going to say what I was going to say earlier. Coliseum Sports Network is not just a standalone thing. It is a part of Simms Coliseum, which is the centerpiece of all of this. It is a sports blog that I will be running from this day forward until whenever. And this YouTube channel is just a part of it, an extension of it. So be sure to check out www.simmscoliseum.com. And then also just check me out on social media. I'll be on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Tumblr, all under the Simms Coliseum name. So be sure to just check all of that out. There are links available on my channel page. I'll have them in the description box. I'll have them pretty much everywhere, just to make sure that you at least see them, and just be sure to check it out. You hopefully won't be disappointed, but considering that it's a one-man operation, so it's only my one-track mind, I'm not going to make any promises. So if you're disappointed, then you just are. Be like that. That one fouls off. Two straight pickoff attempts. Swung on and missed. And here is Adam Everett. The final out here for the Astros. I mean, if he hits a home run, he ties this up. He fouls one off. But there wasn't even enough contact, really. And there's a look at the Astros dugout there. Pretty forlorn about it themselves. And that'll do it. That's how we'll close it out. A K for Jason Frazier and a W for the Toronto Blue Jays in their Canada Day uniforms. Happy belated Canada Day to all my Canadians out there, all my homies from up north. Don't have any homies, but we can be homies if you remember to like and subscribe and comment and all of that. And then I'll actually have homies up north. But in the meantime, I do thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe here on the Coliseum Sports Network. But until next time, I'm Raymond Simms. Thank you for watching. The Blue Jays beat the Astros 2-0. Have a wonderful day.